Summertime shy. Got no hands up.
Summertime. From the Shy to the Bay. Contact.
The Bay.
Come and see what all the hype is about. Tune in to The Hype 87.3.
That's right. It is your girl, Tampa Mystic, and we are live right here in ATL on The Hype 87.3. And today, I'm so excited. Stephen Ashford, what's going on?
Yes. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You know, busy and blessed.
Right. Busy, blessed. You're BBB, booked, busy, and blessed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's the slogan, BBB, booked, busy, and blessed, man. How have you been doing?
I've been good. You know, summertime, just getting done teaching. So we're getting wrapped up for next year. So this will be my 27th year teaching at the same school, you know, the East Palo Alto Charter School in the Bay Area. And, you know, that's one of my joys in life is, you know, teaching the youth.
Yeah, most definitely. Please don't come for me when I ask you, because I don't know all the demographics of Cali. How far from where you live is L.A.?
About 320 miles.
Okay, so it's a nice little distance.
Yeah, it's a nice distance. Everybody thinks L.A. and the Bay is like an hour, but no.
I thought they was too. That's why I asked. I was like, okay, so
it's an hour in the plane.
Definitely. So last time you were here, we were talking more on the music side, but today, you know, you're a director, a filmmaker. In fact, we just shot a little scene that y'all will see coming soon. What inspired you to get into film?
Two things: my uncle and COVID. So, you know, my uncle's a filmmaker. He's out here in the Atlanta area from LA. Did stuff like I'ma Get You Sucker, Hollywood Shuffle, 5 Heartbeats. So he used to always tell me about you should learn how to do this and do the filming. And I never thought about it. I always wanted to do music. So when I started teaching, you know, before I started teaching, you know, I toured with 2 Live Crew. I did all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I said the story before. What changed everything for me was when one of my students came to school with one of my CDs, and it made me feel so bad because I'm supposed to be Mr. Steve. I'm supposed to be, you know, the role model. So that changed everything as far as music. So I didn't do no more music with cussing, and I did the Stay in School album that did really good. We had a video that was on BET, and we had E40, Keep the Sneak, and people like that on it. So it changed everything, you know, and then COVID hit. When COVID hit, I had this idea. Matter of fact, I had this idea for a film called Finders Keepers when I was in Atlanta, way back when they had the I Want to Be Down and the Jack the Rapper. So I was here for those summits. And I was on the plane with my bro Charles, and I was just like, you know, I want to do this film about appeal. And this is years ago. So then COVID happened. And I had a team of people around me, and we made it happen, you know, and it made it to Tubi. You know, we got like over 2 million views and streams and all that. And it was, in my eyes, it was successful, but it was horrible at the same time. Meaning, my uncle always gives me this, you got to be 10% better with your next film.
Yeah.
He was happy that I made a film. And he even said, your film was better than the first thing I ever did. But he said, you got to be 10% better with each one, or you got to stop doing it. So I really thought about that, you know, and I watched the film now, and, you know, it's like a little cult classic, but I see a lot of the mistakes that I made, you know. So with the second film, 60 Days, I like cleaned up a lot of those mistakes, and it's like, I think it's more than 10% better. I think it's 30% better. And I went the film festival route. So, you know, I think we entered it in 15 film festivals. We got accepted in 13, and I won 10 of the film festivals, from best director, best comedy, best film. So that, like, it hit me like, oh man, this is people all over the place, you know, like in Detroit and in Honolulu at these different festivals that don't know me, that watched the film and they liked it. So then it's like, I'm all gas, no brakes.
Congratulations on that too. That is amazing. Like, you went from not doing anything to now you're winning awards, and man, that is beautiful. What would you say is one of the biggest things that you changed going into the second film? Because you said you've seen what some of your mistakes were, and I feel like we all got to start somewhere, because if we don't start somewhere, we'll never get better, because there's a starting point. What would you say is like 1 or 2 things that you went into the second film doing differently?
Coverage. My uncle said coverage. So coverage is, you got to get more than one angle. There, you know, I made sure the sound quality was better, the lighting was better. So it's the little things, you know, that make your film better.
Man, that is a fact. I told you I just recently upgraded all my equipment in my podcast studio, and man, it makes you can have the same formula of how you're doing it, but when you've got the right equipment, better cameras, better lenses, better lighting, better mics, man, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yes, big time. And I'm still, nothing's perfect, but I'm still getting better. And it's like, I love making films just as much as I love teaching, and just as much as I love when I used to rap.
I actually got a friend of mine, ironically, she's a music artist that I met out here, and she's relocating to LA, in fact, to pursue her teaching career. She's a teacher here. She teaches special ed, and she loves it, but she said that there was just more opportunity going to Cali doing it. So I was like, okay, that's super dope. Do you feel like growing up in Cali has helped your creative vision when it comes to your films, when you come up with your actual scripts and your roles and treatments and all that good stuff?
Got it. Yes. Cali, California is, but the Bay Area. The Bay Area is known as the mouthpiece, the mouthpiece. You got to have that Bay Area game. And I think what I did was I used some of that Bay Area game and that hustle. The independent game started in the Bay Area from E40. You know what I mean? And Too Short, and Master P came out and got the game, and he admits it, and he blew up. So just like I have that how do I say it? I'm not going to take no for an answer type thing, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to film, and I'm going to do it. And if I fall and hit my face, I know I tried. So I'm a go-getter when it comes to this film.
How important is it for you to, when you're going into a project, to be 110% focused and block out all distractions?
For me, you can never be 100% because I'm not the type of filmmaker that 100% of how I live is based on my films. Because, I got to balance being a teacher, doing for my community. And I serve two communities, East Palo Alto and Richmond. And like those two cities help make who I am. I was born in East Palo Alto and I was raised in Richmond, but I've been working the last 27 years in East Palo Alto. So I'm going to do everything in my power, where there's backpack drives, toys or whatever. So that does take up time, but you always got the weekends. And sometimes, you got to sacrifice being away from the family, but those 8 hours of filming, it's worthwhile. So I do block out that time. When I'm filming, the wife doesn't call, the kids don't call, and they know that I'm working. So
you are absolutely in your zone while you're working. I feel like that's so important because there's a lot of distractions out here.
Tons of them. And, there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of everything.
Man, and one thing that we don't need to focus on is all that stuff.
Yes.
The hate and the weirdos and the people who want to shoot you down. They shouldn't even matter in our world.
Right.
Because they ain't doing that for us. So 60 Days, the movie, was that the breakthrough project for you?
Yes, because of the film festival.
Yes.
And it just showed me that I can really do this. And, it's a comedy about a guy who's a womanizer and his mother dies. So she leaves him a will. And in the will, he cannot have sex for 60 days. So it's like all these females come his way. There's a shady lawyer that if he doesn't make it, the money goes to his mother's favorite charity. And the lawyer's friend runs the charity. So he's trying his best to make sure it doesn't happen. And, it's a good comedy.
I love that. That is really dope because I feel like we all know some womanizers. Like for the average person, I feel like 60 days, that would be easy to do. But someone who's a womanizer and people slick get addicted to having sex, you know?
Yeah.
Where is that particular, it's called 60 Days, the movie. Where is that particular one available for people to watch right now?
Right now, we just did a deal with Homestead Entertainment. So they turned it into Tubi, and then you just got to wait until, Tubi will give you that date. So from what I heard, it's either late August, early September.
Okay.
So I did my part. It's turned in, and it's up to
now. It's just hurry up and wait.
Yeah. Then it's the promotional game, which is a big part of films because there's so many like Tubi. You hear different things about Tubi, but one thing I'll tell everybody that wants to make films: Tubi pays more than any other place.
Do they really?
Yes,
okay.
Tubi pays more than any other. Amazon Prime. Any of that stuff.
Is it because they got so much advertisement going on?
Yes, it's the ad revenue. So you got to make sure your film is at least an hour in 10, an hour and 8 minutes long. Because I believe every 15 to 20 minutes, they run the commercials.
So let's dive into that just a little bit deeper, because this could be some great advice for other aspiring filmmakers. So the film has to be a certain length for Tubi. Are there other criterias? Does the quality and the sound have to be to a certain up to par? Like, what is that looking like?
I mean, you've watched Tubi.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, there's some films that are like horrible in quality, but one thing I'll never do, I will never talk bad on another
Me
filmmaker
neither,
because
no.
they worked and they did it.
100.
They got it on there. You just got to make sure the sound, I think sound is the most important thing. Your sound has to be good, because I've watched a lot of movies where I had to turn up the volume all the way, and then when the next movie comes on, it's like
It's
loud.
blaring, or the commercial comes on and it's
Yeah.
blaring. I seen something real quickly. I seen a post on Instagram the other day, because something I've always peeped game to. When I'm watching a movie or a series, when a commercial comes on, it's always like 10 decibels higher than the movie. They do that on purpose because they're trying to get your attention to watch that commercial. But I seen that California is passing a law to where they got to keep the sound audio on the commercials the same as the movie. I guess a lot of people complain about that, apparently.
I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah.
That's
interesting. Yeah,
that's
I was
really
like, so if it starts in Cali, hopefully it'll trick. Because sometimes I'll have it and as soon as the commercial comes, I'm like, dang, it's so loud. I got to turn the TV down.
Right. Yes, for sure.
So you won, like you said, 10 film festival awards.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you to be able to do it in a fairly short amount of time?
The first one I ever submitted, I got accepted. So I was like, oh wow, I got accepted. That's a big thing just to get accepted. And then they send you, you're a semifinalist. Oh wow. Then it was like you're a winner. And then I just said, man, I can do this. So it felt good, because it was, I think my first win was in Detroit, like the Detroit Independent Film Festival, and it felt amazing.
Do they actually present you with like a physical award?
Only 2 of the festivals have sent me something like that. They'll send you
Like a certificate?
and you have to print it out type thing.
Understood. But that's a win.
Yes.
A win is a win is a win. And I feel like you said, even being a part of that festival is a win in itself.
Yes, it feels good. And with my next film, Losers Weepers, starting today, I'm sending it off again. So it's like I think I got some momentum, and I'm just going to keep doing how I'm doing, and we'll see what happens.
I'm so excited for you, because I can feel the excitement coming from you. Like the way you talk about it, I'm like you. I get so hyped up, and I'd be like, oh, when I'm excited, I can feel that energy from you. So I'm very excited for you.
Yeah, thank you. And it's not just me. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that help me out.
Yeah.
From my editors, from the talent, and some people will say, well, dang, you got this guy in all 4 of your films or all 5 of your films. But these people, number one, they work hard. Number 2, they're going to promote your product.
Yes.
That's the most important thing. And I know we talked about it earlier. I'm going to just say this to everybody that's an actor or actress. If you make it on anybody's film, you have to promote it. Whether it's put it on your stories in your Instagram once a week or anything like that, or post it, because it's important for you, because you're going to get eyes on you, but also for that director, and that director is going to sit back and like, oh wow, this person is really, they've been promoting it, so I'm going to put them in my next film. I'm going to look out for them in my next film.
I'm absolutely going to 1,000% agree with you. Like you said, we talked about it, because I'll get people who will book interviews and they don't even promote it. And I'm like, why would you? Because I told you, you gave me a small part in one of the films, and I immediately said, I'm going to help promote it without you even asking, because why would you not want to promote something you're a part of? Especially if it's coming from somebody that you respect. Obviously they respect you enough to want to be in your film. So if you appear in his film, I'm going to come for you if you don't help promote it.
Yeah, definitely just promote it. It doesn't take much. Another thing is, and I'm pretty sure you see this, is there's a lot of gatekeeping. In music and in entertainment, period. So one thing I do is, whatever knowledge I know, if somebody asks me, I give them everything I know. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? Anything that I know, I'm going to pass it on to somebody.
Absolutely, because knowledge is powerful. And speaking on that, something that really irks me when it comes to whether it be movies, film, or something, I'll see a lot of people online that bash artists for not doing certain things. Well, maybe they don't know to do that. So rather than you being online bashing these filmmakers or these actors or these artists, stop being a part of the problem and help them. If you're not willing to help them, then shut up.
Right. And
period.
And you just never know. I never do things to get a favor in return. But what would happen if this female filmmaker asked you for support and you help her out and she's the next Issa Rae or the next Tyler Perry or whatever like that? You know, it's like they don't have to come back and say, hey, Steve, you know, you did this for me. But just to see that they blew up, that's like, I'm happy just with that.
Shout out to Issa Rae, man. My favorite series ever was Insecure. I literally watched all 5 seasons from beginning to end 3 times. That's how much I loved it. She repping out there in Cali heavy.
Yeah, she's doing her thing. She blew up.
Man, proud of her. So in your 4.5 years-ish that you've been doing this, biggest lesson you've learned about filmmaking? Or one of the biggest lessons? I'm sure you've learned a few.
Don't wait on nobody. That's number 1. Number 2 is make sure you get all of your footage. Number 3, just make sure your sound is right and don't sit on your project too long. Because some projects can get dated. You know, if you have a project that's like 4 years old, you could still, still try to get it streamed, but try to get it out there.
Absolutely. And I feel like to add to that, because I'm not a filmmaker, but I film and edit my own podcast, we also have to give ourselves grace sometimes because there are things that are going to happen. There may be days where the audio is off a little bit. Like I had an event that I had to go do, and normally I got somebody there helping me, but he wasn't able to make it. So I was doing the audio, the video, the interviewing, the lighting all myself. A couple of the interviews, one of the mics was off. And I'm like, oh my, we got to give ourselves, they weren't upset. Because guess what I did? I had them come here and do a follow-up interview. I made it right.
Nice.
Even though they didn't pay, I was like, I got to make it right for them. Nice. So we got to give ourselves grace, too, because things are going to happen from time to time.
Yeah, and you got to, you always have to give grace. Quick story, one of my boys that is helping me on this documentary called It's in the Water, somebody stole his equipment. And some of my footage was in that, but luckily he has it in the cloud.
Oh.
And instead of me just like, oh man, what about my film? And I just like, are you cool? Is everything okay? Because I can refilm these interviews.
100%. Absolutely. And that's something I've learned too. I've bought 2 external SSD drives that I back stuff up on. And even after the interviews are out, I keep them on one of those drives for at least 6 months. Because sometimes they'll come back and be like, hey, 3 months later, can you send me the interview? Sure, I got it for you.
Right.
We got to have a backup of a backup.
Right. It's important. My uncle's always like, you got to have 3 hard drives worth of stuff. And there's that 1 hard drive that nobody can get to but you.
That is a fact. It's like, that's invaluable. You can't put a price tag on it. So diving in a little bit deep, how do you bring your stories to life on screen?
I was a movie buff. I used to love horror movies. I love Richard Pryor movies. Brewster's Million. You remember that one, right?
Yes.
Brewster's Million was my inspiration for 60 Days.
Oh, okay.
Brewster's Million, Richard Pryor couldn't tell nobody he was rich, remember?
Yep.
And he had to give all the money away
or he lost
everything. So I just flipped it a little bit. It's just, I guess the creative mind of being in the music industry, and it's like, you like horror movies. There are certain things that happen in horror movies that you're like, if I did that, this wouldn't happen or that wouldn't happen. So I jumped right into the horror. My third film is a horror film. So it just like, it showed that I have versatility and I just like jumped right into it. You
can draw inspiration literally from anywhere. Mm-hmm. Tell us about is it upcoming? It's in the Water. That's an upcoming project.
Yeah, it's in the Water is a documentary about the history of sports in East Palo Alto. Okay. So East Palo Alto is a 2.5 mile square radius. It was the murder capital of the world in, I believe, 93 or 94 because they had tons of homicides. But during this time, there was a lot of athletes that didn't make it because of various reasons. But before that, in the 70s, we had people like Rudy Law, who was the first person from the city to make it in the Major League Baseball. We had Nate Branch, who was one of the original members of the Harlem Globetrotters, and he has a star on the Walk of Fame, and he was in the ABC cartoons and stuff. So now you have this newer generation of athletes, and they're getting scholarships left and right like no other. And I interview a lot of the guys from the 90s and ask, how come it didn't happen during that time? You know, and they give their perspective, whereas parents are more involved. You know, sometimes a lot of people only stay with mom or dad or grandma, and maybe they didn't go to your games, and it was, you know, it was up to you to do what you had to do. But now you have all these new athletes, and they have the whole community behind them, pushing them, and that's everywhere.
Yeah,
you got somebody that's doing good. You want that person to make it out. And there's like, you got the Nashawn Wrights who's with the Jets. You got Rajon Wright who's with the Saints. And then you got Royce Keys who's in the WWE. And you got all these guys that's in this, Devontae Adams who's going to probably make the Hall of Fame. So all these guys were in this small city and they just made it.
I love that concept. No, I don't know anybody else that's really doing that. I feel like it's important, no matter if we're from that city, if we're currently living in that city, that we should put spotlight on wherever we are, the history of it. I preach that to these artists. I'm like, if you are either from Atlanta or you move here, you need to know the history. Who came before you? Who paved the way? Who opened the doors for you? I feel like you doing this, that's what you're doing, is you're showing people history that they may not know about the city.
Right, and a lot of the youngsters never heard of Nate Branch.
Right.
You know, they never heard of Rudy Law. So now if you watch this, it's like, oh, wow, we had somebody that played up for the Dodgers. We had, Globetrotter, wow. So it just, the younger generation can appreciate the foundation that was laid in the beginning.
Exactly. So important. Okay, so what should the audiences expect and anticipate from Snowflake Wishes?
Snowflake Wishes is it's like one of my babies. Since I'm a teacher, you know, I had to do a PG rated film. And it's about a father. He's not with the mother. And there's a daughter, and she wants this special toy. So the dad goes everywhere looking for this toy, and he can't find it. He finally finds the toy. He takes it to work, but he has a coworker that's a hater, and he steals the doll. And the reason why he steals the doll is because he doesn't have a good relationship with his daughter. So now the father's like crushed and, you know, and heartbroken. And without giving up too much of the film, the hater hears what's going on, and he has a change of heart, and he gives the doll back. So now Christmas morning, the daughter gets the doll. So, you know, it's just a story. And I also wanted to make it to where all fathers that are not with the mothers are bad. There's right? There's a lot of fathers that are not, you know, and things happen, but they're still there for their kids. And that's what I really wanted to spotlight, is that there's, you know, a lot of fathers get bashed, and there's a lot of bad fathers, but there's so many good fathers. So that's what I wanted to highlight.
I love that, because you are absolutely right. There are a lot of men who not only take care of their own child, but they'll step in and take care of, if they maybe get remarried, now they're fathering this other child that's not there. So I feel like in real quickly, I know this is kind of off topic, but slightly, ladies, if you got a man who wants to take care of your child, stop using you're not with him as a reason why he can't come see your kid. Stop doing that, because a lot of ladies will do that crap. Yeah,
I mean, even my own father, my mom and dad separated, but my dad was always there. I mean, we'll go to baseball games, football games. He was there every Christmas, every birthday. When I was sick, you know, I would spend weekends at his house. So, you know, he taught me a lot, and, you know, I was lucky to have, you know, both of them, you know.
That's so important, because it teaches the kids, you know, unconditional love and things of that nature. So that is going to be released when?
Christmas time. That's going to be Christmas time. It's still in the editing phases right now. My boy Rave is taking care of that right now. So Christmas release, and then Losers Weepers Halloween-ish release. And that's completely done. I'm just giving it to the film festivals to, you know, hopefully get an award or get, you know, submitted and they accept it and stuff like that. So that one is... We shot half of that in the Bay and half of that in Atlanta.
That's hard.
Yes.
A little, okay, definitely. Yes. Finders Keepers 3. Where does that fit into your filmmaking journey?
That's the last one. So this past week, I was able to film in Kentucky, Indiana, Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, and now in Atlanta. So that's still in the beginning. That's in the real beginning stages. But since I was in all these cities, I'm like, that brings a lot of value to your film.
Yeah.
Instead of just using AI, and AI is dope. Don't get me wrong, AI is dope, but it's nothing like you were really in Chicago filming. We filmed at the new Obama Center. You were really in Detroit. We filmed in front of the Joe Louis Fist. You were really in Cleveland, so that just makes it look better.
100%. Not to mention, it's a great experience for you to be able to get out there and see all these places, and I feel like people from them cities will appreciate it more too, because you actually touched down in their city and you filmed out there.
Yes, and it was a good road trip with my uncle. So we got to also see family and stuff. So it was I loved it.
You mentioned What's Up Rogue. Get a little bit more in depth about that.
So What's Up Rogue is, I'm gonna say it's East Palo Alto's Friday.
Oh, okay.
So the film is about a guy who has a house that his grandmother left him, and there's some realtors who are trying to buy up all the property and make it into a nice high-rise, high-end city, which is happening right now in East Palo Alto. It's like the gentrification is real, and it's in the water. We touch on that because a lot of the people talk about there's pros and cons of gentrification. There was more cons, but there are some pros. And this film I think the viewer will realize how valuable it is to keep your house, while your grandmother or grandfather worked so hard to make sure there was always a home base. Like my wife's grandfather, he just said, hey, if something happens to me, no matter what, keep my house in East Palo Alto so somebody will always have somewhere to go. So it's one of those things, and basically the city comes together and they say we're not selling, and they eventually run the guys out.
It's funny because I'll see posts online where some elderly people refuse to give up that home and their property, and they end up having to build around it. Because technically, I don't feel like legally they can make them move. Even though they might offer them a lot of money, I feel like some of the elderly people, the value of the home, not monetary value, but just, the memories and stuff is priceless to them.
Yes, it's important. A lot of these grandparents and great grandparents, they had it tough to even own a house.
Right.
And then to have a house paid off, and you want to just leave it to family, so it's always there.
Like you said, because you never know if a family member might fall on hard times or whatever, and they need somewhere to go. Boom, we've got a spot for you.
Yeah.
If 5 people got to crash in there, that's what it is. It's better than living in the street somewhere.
For sure, 100%.
So you're also involved in music through Beats by the Bay Entertainment.
Yes.
Tell us, does this influence your films, or it getting tied into your films at all?
It does to an extent, because my partner in crime, his name is Sugar Kane. He's a producer. We put a lot of the songs in the films, as well as he's a producer in the Bay Area, does a lot of good stuff. So we get a lot of people that we know in the Bay that do music and get them involved in the soundtracks and in the films. And some of them don't know about cue sheets. Like, you get paid from your publishing by being in the film and stuff like that. So I always look out for like a lot of the talent that you don't hear about. I got like Gucci Smoke, E-Ray C, we got Eddie Projects, Ad Capone. There's a lot of guys that people know in the Bay Area, but it's like I want to give them everything I could give them so they can go to a national level or a worldwide level, like with your radio station. Like E-Ray C, Eddie Projects, I make sure that I'm going to send you some Sean T stuff, some Ad Capone stuff, some Gucci Smoke stuff. So I do my best to make sure that people in the Bay knows it's not just about the Bay. You could come out here to the Hype 87.3 and have a whole new fan base. 100%,
because we've been around since 2020, and one thing that I do is I highly monitor our traffic. My website, the Hype 87.3, where's the main place, we get at least 8,000 streams a week just on the website. That's not including the different apps and other places we're on, because I'm always running ads. It's important. So I want to say thank you while we're here on camera for, sending people my way. I'm gratitude forever for that. I appreciate it.
And that's part of the gatekeeping thing, right? Because I could just be like, nah, I'm only going to have my stuff or my friend's stuff here. No, hey, this is another outlet that you may not have. And then when you're in Atlanta, book your interview, get an interview. There's a lot of things that go into this that will help you other than just the Bay.
100%. Any challenges that you're facing right now as a filmmaker?
Time. That's the only thing, is time. I mean, I put my own money into everything.
Yeah.
And I got a nice job, you know what I mean? Teaching pays the bills. I got a supportive family.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps. One thing I do want to say is there's a lot of people and they'll be like, man, he's doing this film. And some people think you're just rich. No, you're not rich. You're not rich. I'm going to say that again. You're not rich. But if your film does numbers, you could make a living off of films, but you got to have a backup because films does not pay pensions.
Right.
And one thing my uncle told me was, I see some of his residual checks from the 5 Heartbeats and I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, and some of them are like $2.
Yeah.
85 cents. I'm like, wow, they really wasted all that. He showed me one that was 24 cents.
It's like, why not let it build up to at least $100 and then send it to me?
Yes.
Like have a threshold.
Yes. And so part of the issue is streaming. Actors are getting paid less with residuals because of streaming. Streaming pays less than, if you have your stuff in the theaters and remember DVDs and all that, a lot of people made more money. So there's a lot of struggling actors out there.
Right, absolutely, because some of these platforms like Tubi's free for me to stream and watch. So they rely on all the advertisement that's on there. But it's like, how many ads would they have to run to really divvy it up to make sure everybody's getting paid a high dollar amount? It would be a lot.
It's all about the algorithm. So that goes back to promotion. Like, you could put a film out and my film's on Tubi, everybody watch it. You got to make sure your co-stars, your actors, everybody that's involved posts it, because everybody has their different set of friends and things like that. You also got to do Instagram ads, Facebook ads. You got your own blog thing where you get it to all these different places that people can't, get to.
Yes.
Digital billboards.
Yes.
You can make a deal with your local cable station to where if they're watching Real Wives of Atlanta, you could run your commercial for less than $100. So there's little things like that you need to do. And then once the algorithm goes your way, it goes sky high and you can make a lot of money. Couldn't
agree more, because I'll be honest, a big portion of my business comes from the ads that I run on Facebook and Instagram. I believe that's how we connected.
Yeah,
because I constantly run ads for The Hype and for Industry's Most Wanted. So what he's saying is absolute truth. No different with your films. Everybody involved has to do their part.
Yes, it's important. And if I ever made $1 million or something like that, I'm going to take care of everybody that was involved.
And I like what you're doing too. You mentioned that oftentimes you'll have some of the same people in each film, because think about historically, some of the movies back in the day, we'll say predominantly the black films, used, if you see Morris Chestnut, you're going to see Gabrielle Union. You're going to see, and I used to love that. You know what I'm saying? They would bring the same Taye Diggs, etc., into the same films because they were doing their part.
And they show up and do their job.
Period.
So, I've dealt with people in the past that flake. Like, you got to know how to adapt to any situation. I remember one time I was shooting for 60 days and somebody didn't show up, so I had to jump in and play in the basketball scene. And that's one thing I don't want to do. I don't like being in front of the camera, but I had to do it because I had to get done.
That's a fact. I feel like everybody needs to know their role. However, sometimes you're going to have to play another role, and you got to be okay with that. Like I told you, when I went to that event, the person who wasn't able to come with me, I had to play every single role. I had to do the audio, the filming, it'd be a lot, but we got to get the job done. No excuses.
No excuses. Show up, do your job, and if you're an actor or actress, it looks good on you. You're in this film. You tell everybody, like, hey, I'm in this film. Check it out, because you never know. There's other directors, there's other writers that might look at your performance and be like, hey, I want you to be in my film.
Do you right now have any films either in the works or maybe the ideal still brewing in your head where you have opportunities for A, either artists to submit their music, or B, to become an actor in one of your films?
Actors, they could just reach out to me, Contact 21 on Instagram, or my Beats by the Bay Entertainment for actors or actresses. As far as film, if you go to Throwbacks and New Slaps Thursday, that's my Instagram. I have a radio show that I do every Thursday with my boy Sugar Cane, and we give a lot of people opportunities to get their music aired. And how we do our station, we play a lot of the 90s and early 2000 Bay Area songs that like a lot of people grew up on and missed, that you don't hear in regular radio.
I gotta tune in, man, because I ain't gonna hold you. That era, man, I used to love the West Coast vibe. I'm talking, of course, we all know the legends, but like you said, E40, Too Short, the Snoops, the Dre's, shout out to Warren G. He was one of my first interviews I ever did like 16 years ago. So I got to tune in because I love that whole era of Cali music, or the West Coast period.
Yeah, definitely. I got one of your friends that you interviewed on our single. So I have a single from the Losers Weeper soundtrack that'll probably be out in September or October. So we got Turk.
Shout out to Hot Boy Turk.
We got Hot Boy. It's Hot Boy Turk, E-Ray C, Sugarcane, and Gucci Smoke, produced by Prozac. So it's a dope track. Turk, he turned his verse right back in, and it came out pretty dope.
Turk is one of the realest people that I've ever met, not just in the industry, but in life. Love that. And his wife, Imani. Shout out to them. So that's hard. When can we anticipate that track?
September. I'm going to give it to you first, too.
Please, because it's got to go in rotation for sure.
Yes.
Through film, I know you know teaching is a big near and dear part to your heart, but film, what legacy do you want to leave through filmmaking?
I want to be somebody that people know gave it their all, gave people opportunities, and made good content.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be known as. I don't want to be known as somebody that was big-headed. I don't want to be known that, like, if I get on to some Tyler Perry level, you still can't reach out to me. Well, I mean, if somebody's new, you got to kind of filter that. But if you were down with me from day one, you're going to be down with me from day 22.
You're going to pick up the phone when they call.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're not busy or whatever. But you're absolutely right. People got to get on board or get left behind.
Yes.
So this is something you're going to just, until you can't do it no more, you're going to continue filmmaking. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity to come. Until
there's no more air in my lungs, I'm doing this. I'm all in on this film.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because you're going after what you love. And you have a supportive team around you. You're your wife and your team members that work with you on these films. Anybody in particular that you just really right now want to give thanks to for being super supportive of your journey?
I mean, you said all of them. Family for sure. Uncle for sure. Wife and kids. Uncle is like, we butt heads so much. Like, it's crazy because he has the old school way of thinking with film and I got the new school way. But most of the times he's right. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's right. So it's a friendly, I never could get mad at my uncle. He just wants me to be better.
Understood.
And my right-hand man, Sugar Cane, he's always, no matter what we do, he's like down. If I need an extra cameraman, he'll come jump in and film. So Bud Bartlow, we got DJ Stokes, so many Kevin Thibodeau, Prince Kareem. There a lot. Those guys that I said right there, they've been in every film I've made. And they show up though, and they give it their all. They do their job and they leave, but they also promote it.
Listen, I love that. And for anybody that gets involved in what he got going on, I understand life happens sometimes. But if you just flake just because I don't feel like showing up today, don't accept the role. If you know that you're not going to put your all into it.
For sure.
Because that can really put, that can put like, a damper into what you got going on, because now, like you said, maybe you got to jump in or you're scrambling to find somebody last minute. That's frustrating.
Right, for sure. And again, there's a lot of filmmakers who I've helped out and I still learn from them. I just met a girl about 2 months ago named Tiffany McHenry. She has a film that she's doing called 18, and I have a film called The Yay Area. So I'm doing that one too, and she's writing one of the. It's a film about a guy and a youngster, and they're going to work, and he plays a CD. The youngster doesn't want to hear about no CD stuff. He wants to, plug in his phone and all that. But the OG wants him to learn about the old Bay Area music. So there's 3 parts of the movie, and each one is a Bay Area song. It goes into a song, and the song goes into another story. So Tiffany, she wrote one episode.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what? If I could throw an olive branch, let's do it. You know what I mean? So she's dope, and Derek B and B12, they have a film called Hello Hello. It's a comedian named Bong, a Filipino comedian. Funny film. It's on YouTube, and I'm helping them try to get a distribution deal and stuff like that. So again, if I can help anybody, I'm gonna do it.
That's hard, man. Listen, again, I'm proud of you. Congratulations. If anybody is interested in working with you or maybe reaching out for a helping hand, where can they follow you at?
Contact 21.
Spell that for them.
KONTAC 21 on Instagram, or contact 510@gmail.com. We're still casting for the What's Up Rogue film. That's going to be a dope one. I got the Hood Stars, Ad Capone. We got Bud in it. That's going to be a dope one. I'm excited about that because it's where I was born. You know what I mean? And I want to make it like that Friday, a Friday type movie for that area. And then it's in the water, the East Palo Alto. From there, I'm doing a documentary about sports in Richmond. So I always got to do my two cities all the time.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Anything, I know we covered, I think, most all your films. Anything else in the works that we need to know about?
Yeah, so the Throwbacks in New Slaps Thursday show that we have every Thursday on the Block 105. We just got a deal with Uplift TV. So Uplift TV is a streaming service. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do 5 episodes of our show, but it's going to be a live show where we play the videos.
That's hard.
So I'm looking at it to where a lot of these OGs that were doing it can get an opportunity to be seen, their video seen, and they have like 280,000 subscribers. 8,000 subscribers, so hopefully it can help out some of the OGs, and it's just paying homage to the Bay Area.
Man, that is a great idea. It's kind of like back in the day, like a 106 and Park type situation. Because let's be honest, yeah, it's cool to listen to the song, but we want to see the visuals too.
Yes,
so that's a great idea. I love it. Most definitely. Well, thank you for being here today, and thank you for letting me be a part of the film
you
too.
already know it, and every time I come in here, I'm to Atlanta, which is at least once a year. I'm gonna touch down with you.
Most definitely. I know I can't believe it's already been since last year. Yeah, time be flying, don't it though? Well, listen, I appreciate you being here, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys tap in, tune in. Steve and Ashford in the building.
That's right.
We out of here, y'all.
Yes, sir.